I'm going to show you guys how to do kind of like an undercut, but with curly hair. And then Eric is going to show you how he styles his hair to get it nice and straight, and also how to manage it. And I know a lot of you guys want to see a curly hair tutorial for men, so I'm ready to do it. Eric, man, you ready to do it today?
Yep, I'm here. I'm ready to help you out.
This has been an interesting transition because Eric, tell us kind of like the story about your hair. Like this is kind of like a new haircut we've been doing for at least like maybe 4 months or so, right?
Yeah. Well, I got the idea off with my brother. He lives in France, so he kind of like the Euro hairstyle going.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd try that with curly hair, but we started off like cutting it short on the sides, and then we started growing it on top, and kept on going for 4 months. Kept on cutting the sides, and then kept it long on top. So I kind of learned how to style it by my own. Just kept on trying it out in the mirror with different products, different ways to style it, and thing comes out well.
Yeah, and as you can see, look how long this is on top here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this, do kind of like an undercut on the sides and the back, and we're probably gonna end up leaving the top a little bit, but the key is showing you guys how to style today. So I'm ready to go, let's get started. Okay, so with Eric's hair, what I'm doing is I'm starting with a 1.5, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this pretty much halfway up the back of his head here like this. Then I'm gonna extend it in through the sides. So I definitely like to take this relatively short, and I'm going to then transition from this to the next guard up, which is a 1.5. So let's finish this up here throughout the back, and then we'll extend it in through the sides. Well, as you can see, we finished the undercut part of this whole thing, and it literally is undercut from all the way here, all the way around to the other side. Now what I want to do is, the key to this whole haircut is leaving the length on top here so it goes back. But what I want to do is I want to take this a little bit shorter right in through here, just because it's getting a little bit long, and I want to have this kind of going from a little bit shorter into the longer part so it's not too heavy. So what we're going to do is we're simply just going to hold this like this, and we're going to cut the length this way, just to kind of give us a head start and to remove some of this excess bulk right into this area, so that when it goes back, it's not so heavy here and there's not so much hair hanging down this way. It's coming more from the top and through here. So as you can see, now it has a nicer flow to it. And I'm just going to take this one more section moving forward this way, and I'm going to cut it right to that guide to where I just cut the first section. So what that's doing is it's leaving the length going towards the front, but it's just eliminating some of the excess weight right into here in the back. Then if you want, you can continue just to kind of work this in here, and not too much hair is going to come off, but this is going to be good for giving the hair a little more movement as it works towards the front, so it's not so heavy. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to finish this up and through here, and look, as you see, it has a nicer flow going this way. It's not, so heavy, but we still have the length right into the top. And when we bring this all back now, it all comes to this one point, and if there's a little bit of hair that needs to come off, then you can just skim it off just like that. But the key is that we have this longer going towards the very, very front, which is really what makes this style. And the length here is probably about, I'd say 2.5 to 3 inches here, and then upwards to about probably about maybe 5 or so, 4 to 5 inches right into here. And you want that length so that it can slick all the way back this way. All right, so I just want to show you the end result with Eric's hair as far as the haircut goes. So again, I worked this in, going a little bit shorter like here. Here's the length on top. You can see it's relatively long, and the undercut is complete now on this side as well as the other side. So now Eric is going to give some tips on how he manages his curly hair and how he styles it.
All right, guys. A few of the key points are I kind of make it straight at first, so I kind of comb it down in front of my eyes, get all the knots out. As you can see, it's really long on top. Goes all the way past my eyes, and then after that I kind of start combing it back to whatever side I want. Steven gets the cut on both sides so I can comb it to either side, but today I'm going to go this way. As you can see, it starts pulling back and starts staying there, but as it dries up, as it's still a little wet, as it dries up it starts to curl up a little bit more, so you gotta start putting in some product to hold it down. To start, if it's too wet, you want to use a hair dryer to kind of blow it back to the way that you're going. So turn it on as you blow it back. See, it starts curling up a little bit more, but to get that nice pullback when it's nice and dry.
All right, so Eric, so the first product you're using for this is more of a pomade, and that is going to give it more of the shine and a little manageability. And then you're going to go in with something more like a paste, which is going to give it more hold, right?
Yeah. So this is more going to like mat it down to like one side, and then that's going to more like hold it together to where I want it to be.
Okay.
And just kind of slick it back. And I go to the side up here to the top. I slick it back down there, and then I just keep on slicking it back till it's all matted down to one side. All right, guys, you kind of want to keep slicking it back. You don't want to miss any spots so it doesn't dry up and curl up too much towards the end of the day. And then you want to use the other paste and mat it down. All right, so it's slicked back, and now if you want to take a comb and kind of make sure everything slicks back together, pull all the last knots out. And right now you can barely tell that my hair is curly, but as you can see from the beginning of the video, it's definitely curly up here. And then you keep on playing with it until you got where you want it to be. And when it dries up, it's just going to stay how it is.
Well guys, this is really a great tutorial, and I hope you all enjoyed this because a lot of you guys seem to have curly hair and you want to see something like this. And Eric, I really appreciate you doing this, man. But
no
the key to this is, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. I want you to see how Eric does it himself because, I can do it, but I want to see him do it so you guys, as the people watching it that maybe aren't professionals, can see his techniques and his methods. And as you saw, his hair was extremely curly. And it's easy to get this look when the hair is straight because all you do is brush it back. But with curly hair like this, definitely have more of a challenge to it. And I think it really looks great. And as you can see, this slicking back like this, it keeps that whole undercut look, and it shows off how I cut this. All right, and then when you comb it in place, as you can see, this really has to stay down like this. And then as it dries, then it has that ability to kind of work through it. Now, when it dries, you leave it just like this? Do you run your hands through it? You just don't even touch it?
Oh, I can run my hand through and it'll stay down. It doesn't come back up after it's down.
Awesome, man. Well, Eric, I really appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Thanks as always, man. Try out his tips, and I hope also the haircut too. It's a great way to get this awesome haircut. A lot of guys love the undercut. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more tutorials from the Salon Guy.